Okay, welcome back to another episode of PRL Outdoors Filtered Reactions, which is reactions from Phil. That's me. I own the company, and I do all the janitorial work around here. It's quite glamorous. Y'all are missing out, truly, owning a company, getting paid nearly nothing, and doing all the janitorial work yourself. Hey, I'm not complaining because I get to make cool reaction videos like this and make cool stuff out of leather and kydex and shoot cool guns. And one thing I don't get to do is drive fast, but I do get to drive cool vehicles. Anyway, there's some ups and there's some downs. So in the last filtered reactions video, this is season 1, episode 1, we reviewed Steve O coming to Alaska. Let's see here. So in this episode of season 1, episode 1, Steve-O came to Seward, and we thought that was pretty funny. And one of the things that I asked was for input from the YouTube page, and I said, let me know if there's something else we should review. And Kirk yourself here, and we've gone ahead and given him a like and a follow, which is only courtesy, suggested that we watch Tom MacDonald's new song, Brainwashed. So I have pulled that up, but I have not, I haven't clicked on it yet. So let's pull that up here. And at face value, I'm wondering what Kirk knows that we don't know. So if we have to quickly pause it, we'll be ready. I don't think Kirk would suggest any sort of nakedness or anything else, so I hope not. We'll let's go ahead and listen together, and you guys will get my reactions, and we'll find out if this is any good or not. So here we go. Half the country fell asleep, but they scream woke. Okay. How was that audio? Let's see. Half the country fell asleep, but they scream woke. Well, this is starting off well. Kirk's trying to get me banned, right? Let's see. We're distracted by vaccines and TV shows, politics, celebrity gossip, popular neat quotes, black lives, white lives, which lives mean most? Okay, we're jumping right in, right? I'm not going to comment on that yet. We only dedicate one day to remember our fallen soldiers, the men and women who died young. But if you come out the closet, it's Caitlin. What? Let me go back real quick. But if you come out the closet, it's Caitlyn Jenner, you're a hero and you get a whole Pride Month. A Bride Month. Is that what he said? A Bride Month? Hang on a second. Let's turn the slide off. This is too much. All right, let's just listen through it. Maybe we'll listen a second time. Propaganda from these clowns. Only mask that's gonna save us is duct tape on their mouths. Don't speak. We don't need to defund police. Need to defund the media who lies through their teeth like. Well, that's true. Farmer doesn't cure you, dog, because every patient that gets cured is. Okay. I think maybe we'll comment on the second time through. Heard him claiming if a white man braids his hair and likes rap, he's appropriating culture. But if a white man acts too white, he's white trash, he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a monster. Let's just have the conversation. Not every liberal is dumb, not all Republicans are racist. The government wants everybody fighting with their neighbors because they know that if we get along, we'll thanks, Kirk, by the way. They can't stop us, cause we're ready to fight, trying to brainwash us, but we won't let freedom die. The whole world's video's well mixed, right? And its production quality is decent. It's not my typical genre. How did monkeys become people and people turned into sheep? They put fluoride in the water that's keeping us all asleep. Claimed it was best for us. I find it hard to believe.
they've been selling us cigarettes since we was 18.
Who's they?
News, fake, woke, distract, and divide. You're either right or you're left, or you're black or you're white. Big tech don't need a microchip to hack in your life, because the phone inside your pocket is a tracking device. And I don't know what I'm more sick of.
Well, that's true.
Joe Biden looking like he ate 100 Xanax for dinner. Because president and kicking him off Twitter is a bigger threat to freedom than foreign ballistic missiles. You don't trust the police.
I don't know about that one.
You want people giving up their right to own a firearm. Why would you be comfortable if police and the government?
Who's giving up their rights?
On the planet with the right to buy a gun. White privilege getting amplified to reinforce division. It convinces white people that they're favored by their skin, and black people getting angry because they're told they're treated different. So the conflict is between us and never with the system. Let's just have the conversation. Not every liberal is dumb. Not all Republicans are racist. The government wants.
Is this a song or like a ballad? Kinda. Oh, I guess he has a chorus. All right.
We're ready to fight, trying to brainwash us, but we won't let freedom die. The whole world's brainwashed. Everybody pick a
The whole world.
The whole world's brainwashed. It's us against them, it ain't you against me. Step 1. Train the people only to consume. Step 2, infiltrate adults with the news. Step 3, indoctrinate the children through the schools and the music and the apps on the phones.
There's going to be a lot to talk about here. Which ones are we going to pick? There's a lot of topics kind of all over the place, isn't he? Wow. All right, we're not going to shy away from this, Kirk. We ain't scared.
Put it on the news every night. Step 9, when people start to fight and divide, take control. This is called situational design.
Situational design. I might have to Google that, huh? And this lower, you know, the other side of the screen that I don't have on the screen capture. There's some of these other songs from Tom MacDonald. I've never heard of Tom MacDonald. Well, there we go. If you like Tom MacDonald's song here, he's got Hangover Gang. At Hangover Gang on, what's that one? Instagram. He's Tom MacDonald on YouTube, and I don't know what that center one is. Somebody help me out here. Facebook, and then he's Twitter pated on I am Tom MacDonald. All right. Do we even get it? The TVs even do that anymore? Let's go back here. Is it going to let me go back to make me watch this ad? Let's see. I'm not signed in with my paid account here. I'll just keep it muted and we'll see if we can skip the ad. Or don't skip the ad, right? We'll watch the ad. I'll let you watch the ad. I'm going to screen transition here real quick. While we're watching the ad, we don't need to see the ads. Wow, there's going to be a lot to talk about here, I think. Okay. Let's see which ones of these we want to cover, right? So I guess we'll just go back through and start it and let the ads play. Tom can get the ad revenue here. All right. Let's try to hit the old replay and watch this again. Okay. Tom MacDonald, Brainwashed.
The country fell asleep, but they scream woke.
I'll start over. I had paused it for the ads.
Half the country fell asleep, but they scream woke. We're distracted by vaccines.
Okay. Half the country fell asleep or is still asleep. Which, let's just, can we admire the face tattoos? What's sticking out of the bridge of his nose? He's got a cross up underneath his right eye. Comment if you think those hair braids are fake extensions or something. They're pretty clean. No stray hairs. But whatever that is sticking, there's a piece of metal sticking out the side of the bridge of his nose. That's got to be painful. But he's also got a little tattoo of a cross right underneath his right eye. I can't imagine getting tattooed there. All right, let's listen for this. Get it right.
Half the country fell asleep, but they scream woke.
Half the country fell asleep.
We're distracted by vaccines and TV shows.
Distracted by vaccines and TV shows. Okay.
Politics, celebrity, gossip, popular, neat quotes, black lives, white lives, which lives mean most?
All right, which lives mean most? Well, of course, all lives matter. And that does not diminish black lives, brown lives, purple lives, yellow lives, any lives, right? Let's not go down a rabbit trail there. I like the old screens. These are like screens out of the 80s. Do you get fuzz like that anymore? Is it even possible to do that? Do kids even understand what's happening on this wall TVs back there?
We only dedicate one day to remember.
All right, I wanted to go back because what he said a lot there right now. Black lives, white lives.
Quotes, black lives, white lives, which lives mean most?
Which lives mean most? I think the entire point is that no one means more than anybody else, right? Isn't that supposed to be the point?
We only dedicate one day to remember our fallen soldiers, the men and women who died young. But if you come out the closet as Caitlyn Jenner, you're a hero and you get a whole Pride Month.
All right, I do know what he's talking about there a little bit. Other than the Bride Month, I don't understand that. Wasn't he already married? And now he wants to be called a she? I'm not sure what the status, because I don't really follow Mr. turned Mrs. I'm not sure if he's a Mrs. Jenner, because I understand he was married. Did he stop being married to get divorced? I mean, I guess I really don't care. He's talking about those who serve. Did he say those who serve, or did he say like those who died? I'm missing it. But if you come out the closet as sorry. Which lives mean most? We only dedicate one day to remember our fallen soldiers, the men. All right, fallen soldiers. That's what he said. We dedicate one day to remember our fallen soldiers. Well, I don't know. First of all, I don't know about y'all, but I take the whole weekend for sure. I don't really stop remembering them. But the argument of you have to do one or the other is kind of ridiculous. His point being that Mr. or Miss or Mrs. Jenner, that he gets an entire month. Well, first of all, who gave him a month, and what are we talking about here? He only gets what you give him attention, or her attention. I think he's a him still, but again, I kind of don't care enough to know, what the status of his genital parts are, which might sort of dictate that, except don't we still look at like the chromosomes? I don't know. I don't think we walk around asking people to see their chromosome passports quite yet. Of course, I live in Alaska, and unless you are a part of some idiocy up in Anchorage or Juneau, nobody asks to see vaccine passports or anything like that around here. So, again, this whole passport thing, I don't think the tourists even get asked to see passports. In fact, from what I can tell, the tourists that are here dip netting illegally, stealing fish, rarely get asked to see much of anything. My understanding is because they won't pay the fines. The troopers, the wildlife officers, are all state troopers here, that they basically just kind of sight and release and maybe take their fish or get them to stop, but that nothing really happens to them. So I don't know. If you're a trooper or a wildlife officer, let me know maybe what is the policy on that. So we're getting off track here, right? Let's watch another 2 or 3 seconds and see what else he says. He's spitting a lot out there. He's throwing a lot up against the wall. It's kind of feeling a little bit like spaghetti right now.
Women who died young. But if you come out the closet as Caitlyn Jenner, you're a hero.
The closet? Is there a closet? Did Jenner come out of a closet? Is that how that works? Man, I don't know.
When you get a whole Pride Month, the most
Pride Month.
Pandemic's propaganda from these clowns. Only mask that's gonna save us is duct tape on their mouths. Don't speak. We don't need to.
All right, I think he's talking about media. I'm not totally sure. But I guess we'll see what else he has to say here. I'm not going to listen to that again.
Defund police need to defund the media.
All right, defund police. One, I'm completely against that. Unless we're talking federal police. I mean, there's some bad actors happening in the federal atmosphere, right? I guess I don't know enough to make an informed call there, but defunding police, I am 100% against. I don't know very many officers that make very much money for what they do and what their risk is. I know a lot of officers, and most of them don't make very much money. They work a lot. A lot. I don't think people realize how many hours police officers put in. It rivals anything I ever did in the military. All right, media lying through their teeth. Totally true. Yeah, I got you. You got me there. I have good stories about that. You know, I remember being involved with a mission to, I'm trying to word this carefully here. So back in the early days of the Afghanistan war, we caught a certain American. He was in the media, pretty prominent, right? People remember that. Kind of caught fighting for the other side, the wrong side. And I was involved in the transportation of this individual over to Guantanamo Bay. And I remember being back for a couple of days, and then I was getting a chili cheese dog with some jalapenos, which is probably the most important part of the story, in the break room for a few minutes before heading out to the smoke pit. Back in those days, everybody smoked. And that's cigarettes, by the way. This is a different kind of military, I think. Anyway, I saw a completely different airplane. Now it was a fancy C-17. Of course, it hadn't been a C-17. And I don't know what they were doing, but they were showing him walking off the ramp in the same place that we had just dropped him off a couple of days prior. And that was live, right? Live on CNN. Pretty hilarious. I remember sitting in a Prince Sultan Air Base at the dining facility over there in Prince Sultan Air Base, which is in Saudi Arabia, right outside of Riyadh. And multiple times missions that we were doing, or things that, just things we're involved in, right, in the military, you would see yourself doing live again on CNN, days or weeks, but I mean, always at least a day or two later. And, for operational security, there's nothing wrong with that sort of a thing. Just, how many people are honestly stupid enough to believe a single thing they see on TV? It really is 99%, maybe, let's be generous, say 95% propaganda and bullshit. He's not wrong there.
Oil runs the world. The only wars that get fought are with the countries who have natural resources they want.
Okay, big oil runs the world, and I'm not sure. I mean, do we care enough to address that or not? He's definitely not right about all this.
The only wars that get fought are with the countries who have natural resources they want. Heard him claiming
Tell me what natural resources we took from Afghanistan, we being the United States. I mean, I was there. I watched what moved in and out for years and years and years. And quite honestly, the same with Iraq. We don't tend to go fight wars in countries and take ground or resources. We just don't. It's not true. Other nations do that. China does that. We don't.
A white man braids his hair and likes rap. He's appropriating culture.
Okay, I did think that was funny. So he said a white man braids his, say blonde hair or whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, he's got some pretty looking blonde hair. I don't think it's real. Maybe somebody else. Do you have other videos? I'm looking down here in the feed on the right. It says, there's a picture of him, Tom MacDonald. It says cloned rappers, and he doesn't have any hair. Kind of bald in there. That looks good. I go for that look. Tom MacDonald snowflakes. Looks like he's got, I don't know if I really don't think I'm going to click on any of these and talk about them. It takes way too long to talk about all this crap. Yeah, I don't know. Then he's got a ski mask on another one. But why does he care what people say about his hair?
But if a white man acts too white, he's white trash. He's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a monster.
I guess that just depends on what circles you run in, huh? None of my friends are calling me a racist, a bigot, or a monster.
Let's just have the conversation. Not every liberal is dumb,
Not every liberal's dumb. I guess better not comment about that.
Republicans are racist.
All Republicans are racist. No. Also not true.
The government wants everybody fighting with their neighbors because they know that if we get along, we'll probably go against them.
That's an interesting point to bring up. He says the government wants everyone to fight with their neighbors because if we all got along, then we would be against them being the government. There might be something to that. Very, very well might be something to that. There is an interest in keeping us fighting against each other. There is an interest in division of people in the country. And I wouldn't say that it's primarily from politicians in power as much as it's foreign powers. And what we need to realize is that not all of our politicians in power are representing us as much as they're representing foreign powers. And then that part starts to become a little more truthful.
They can't stop us, 'cause we're ready to fight, trying to...
All right. I have to disagree there. The vast majority of our citizens in this country are not ready to fight. Even myself, I need to lose another 40 pounds before I'm ready to fight again. The average person in this country, even if they do own a gun, doesn't know how to use it, let alone under stress. And we're probably not looking at conventional wars anyway to be fought with guns, right? I don't think he understands the true nature of what fighting amongst ourselves and within our country or against our own government, what that's going to look like. He has no clue.
Brainwash us, but we won't let freedom die.
All right, that's great to hear. Not going to let freedom die. They want to brainwash you. Here's the thing. You're only brainwashed if you want to be brainwashed. You control your own destiny. That's the amazing thing about freedom in this country. You can read nearly any book you want to read. You can watch nearly any documentary or source. You can go talk to people. Tell me a place that you can't pick up the phone and call, even internationally. Tell me a group of learned individuals that you are prevented from contacting. Who exactly is preventing you from becoming educated? I don't think people in this country quite understand how free we really are right now.
The whole world's brainwashed.
The whole world.
The whole world's brainwashed.
The whole world's brainwashed, he says. I have to disagree. Wait, he said something really fast. I missed something about monkeys.
How did monkeys become people and people turned into sheep?
How did monkeys become people and people turn into sheep? Well, monkeys didn't turn into people. And people are like sheep. They didn't turn into sheep. But it's just lyrics, right? It's just a song. somewhat inflammatory of a song, to be fair. Oh, this fluoride thing. Okay, fluoride in the water keeps us asleep. Fluoride in the water keeps teeth in our children's faces. All right, it's a chemical. I'm not necessarily a fan. I filter it out of my water. I don't like the way it tastes either. I don't like the taste, but clean drinking water in our country is something we take for granted. Again, the fact that you can turn on a faucet and water that will not make you, let's say it won't make you sick, because this is what he's talking about, that they add chemicals and things, right? They treat it. Yes, they do, partially to make sure that you don't get sick when you drink it. And are there mistakes made? Yet probably, because government's typically involved in a water utility. I drink well water, so if there's something in my water coming out of the well, it's because I put it there, or neighbor or somebody else put it there. And this idea that you can turn on water, drink it, and not get physically ill is quite a blessing. It's one of those things we take for granted in our country, something we have that a lot of other places do not have. As far as fluoride being a purposeful thing, man, I don't know. I've heard of that as a conspiracy, whether it's substantiated or not. I don't know. He's kind of, again, this whole song is like throwing spaghetti up against a wall to see what can stick, and he's just trying to get attention to himself for some reason. I suspect it's to make money, right? Fake news, fake woke, distract and divide. Yeah, probably there are people that have that agenda. That's I think that's something that in the sides, right? If we're taking sides, or there are people on different sides, we would probably agree that there is an agenda.
Either right or you're left, or you're black or you're white.
Right or left, black or white. There's a lot of groups being left out there, aren't there?
Big tech don't need a microchip to hack in your life, because the phone inside your pocket is a tracking device.
Truth. Seriously. Like, do you get one little bit out of this video? That is a truth. It's not just a tracking device. It is also a tracking device. It's not, yeah. It is a listening device. That microphone never turns off. Yeah, if you truly don't want people listening to you or knowing what you do or knowing where you go, you do need to just leave your phone somewhere, not on you.
Now I don't know what I'm more sick of, rappers or Joe Biden looking like he ate 100 Xanax for dinner.
The reality about Biden is that it's really quite sad. The man is clearly no longer, and I'm not sure he has been in some time, but he's clearly no longer really all there, right? Something missing upstairs these days.
Censoring the president and kicking him off Twitter is a bigger threat to freedom than foreign ballistic missiles.
Yeah, this whole idea that a social media can kick off people that they don't agree with. And to be fair, I don't know if he said this or if this is just popping into my mind here. I know that what does happen, or has happened, right, is that there are Taliban on Twitter and social media. I've seen domestic terrorists in our own country be allowed to essentially say whatever they want on Facebook without consequence, while people who speak up and attempt to at least say their truth or their opinions on the truth that doesn't agree with the platform, they get deleted or jailed or suspended or whatever. And I think that's what he's referencing here. That is happening in our country, and it needs to stop happening. And I'm not sure what the solution is, but, vote with your feet. Close your accounts. Stop being a part of something that engages in censorship like that. It's awful.
So, you don't trust the police or the government, but you want people giving up their right to own a firearm. Why?
Let's catch that one again.
Missile. You don't trust the police or the government, but you want people giving up their right to own a firearm.
I thought that's confusing to me which group he's talking about. He says the people that don't trust the government are the ones trying to take away rights to firearm. I don't think that's quite true.
And why would you be comfortable if police and the government the only people on the planet with the right to buy a gun? White privilege.
Okay. I don't think I'm going to rewind it again. I'm not sure exactly what he's saying there. And it's probably just me. My ear's not hearing it well. I got turned up pretty loud in here, but yeah. Well, you know that thing about the country being prepared to fight a war? Those of us that do know how to use our firearms, we're not giving them up. So I'm not worried about gun confiscations.
Getting amplified to reinforce division. It convinces white people that they're favored by their skin, and black people getting angry.
White people are convinced that we're favored by our skin. If that's true, it's not true for me, but somebody.
Because they're told they're treated different, so the conflict is between us and never with the system. Let's just have the.
One of the awesome things about the military is that you're thrown in amongst all the races together. You're required to figure out how to get along, get the mission accomplished, and you really don't run into too many racists in the military. I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't have that many friends that are not veterans, and amongst my small circle of family, I haven't really run into much in the way of racism. I don't know. I do have a sibling married to someone who's pretty different than us, and he talks about racism an awful lot, enough that makes you wonder if maybe he is racist. But I don't know. I really not have any relationship with him, so I have no idea.
Conversation. Not every liberal is dumb. Not all Republicans.
Well, every liberal is dumb. I mean, I know that has to be true.
Are racist. The government wants everybody fighting with their neighbors because they know that if we get along, we'll probably go against them.
That's the chorus, huh? The bridge chorus. We've already heard all that. Okay. Step 1, train the people only to consume. Step. Who? Where's he getting these steps from? Step 1, train the people only to consume. I don't think anybody has to be trained to do that. I think it's a comfort thing. I don't train my dog to consume, but he sure likes his blanket, right? We like the comforts and ease. I don't train my dog to come running when I'm putting food in his bowl, but he's sort of figured out that when he hears that noise, his favorite thing is fixing to happen, right? I don't know what school this guy went to.
2, infiltrate adults with the news. Step 3.
Infiltrate adults with the news. Again, this is kind of goes back to the brainwash thing. You're brainwashed if you want to be brainwashed. If you're stupid enough to believe what's coming out of the TV and the media, the mainstream news channels, anything that's given to you essentially free should be taken with a grain of salt, right? Learn how to discern things for yourself. Learn how to discover truth. Stop allowing yourself to be brainwashed. If he's brainwashed, it's because he allowed it to happen. It's his own fault.
Indoctrinate the children through the schools.
All right, indoctrinate children through schools. Yes, that is a plan. Again, parental responsibility here, though. Let's get at it. Are there people with opposing beliefs that are in the school system and attempting to train your children? Yes, there are. They are teaching in for the most part, what they believe to be best. I don't know of any teachers that are purposefully trying to indoctrinate something harmful into children. They're indoctrinating what they believe and what they've been taught. Now, the issue there is that parents don't take responsibility to prevent teachers that have different beliefs from indoctrinating their children. Take some parental responsibility here. If you don't like what your teachers are teaching, teach them yourself or send them to another school. one of the amazing things in our country, again, we live in a place where we give free child care for a lot of hours a day, most of the days of the week, and even attempt to try to teach children some things while they're there. It's not school, right? It's daycare. Let's be honest.
The music and the apps.
You don't see the very successful people throughout history sending their children to public school, dumping them off at the corner to get educated. You see intelligent people take charge of their children's education and either do it themselves or ensure that it's being done properly.
On the phones that they use, step 4, separate the right from the left, step 5,
did I miss one?
Separate the white from the black, step 6, separate the rich from the poor, use religion and equality to separate them more.
Okay. I think the assertion is that politicians are doing this purposefully. How many politicians do we really have in the country that are doing this? Are we so controlled and weak as a people that a couple hundred, or I mean, how many politicians are there in our country? Nationally, what, a couple hundred, right? Couple hundred. And locally, I'm trying to think, in my area, I have a borough mayor. One, he's not really doing any of this. Two, he doesn't really have any power to do any of that. We have a governor in Alaska who's unable to get anything done other than stopping some things. He has stopped some things. So I guess he's not totally ineffective. He just hasn't done a single thing that he, ran on doing. And he seems completely unable to stop again, I don't know, 100 or so. How many politicians do we have in Juneau? The politicians are the minority in this country. They're really not in charge. Maybe that's what he's trying to say. We're the ones in charge. We're the ones doing this to ourselves, which would be my point. You can't blame a couple hundred politicians for what's happening, even if they are responsible. It's like what I'm saying about public schools. If you feel your child's being indoctrinated, why would you take your child there? That's starts to become an issue for you as a parent. You as a parent are the problem, not the teachers now.
Step 7, fabricate a problem, made a lie. Step 8, put it on the news every night. Step 9, when people start to fight and divide, take control. This is called situational design.
All right, the situational design thing. I was going to Google it, and honestly, I'm not going to. I don't care. Shock and awe. Is that the purpose of this video? Shock value? I mean, it's what all the tattoos on his face and the bling earring in his ear right there, and whatever that piece of metal sticking in his. Oh, he's got another one in his face too. Here, can you guys? So he's got something right here. Got a little hog ring, and then he's got a bar going through the bridge of his nose here, and then he has these long, spindly, pretty looking, and they're quite pretty, blonde braids. They're nice braids. Is he ready to fight? Does anybody who's ever actually been in a fight understand the points of weakness happening here?
They can't stop us, 'cause we're ready to fight.
I wish I had my sub connected to this, that little bass thing. That would have been cool. My earphones didn't do it justice.
Trying to brainwash us, but we won't let freedom die.
Flipping off the TV, that'll stop him. Well, yeah, what he's doing right there, turning it off. That's the real trick. Turn it off. Stop watching it. Video by Nova Rockefeller, whoever that is. The new Rockefellers. All right, we watched to the end. All right, if you like Tom MacDonald, go give him a like and a follow. And I went and liked his video because I watched it. production value is high. Don't think I'm going to subscribe to his channel, and I don't know, maybe I should. Let me know, guys. I can go back and do it. Don't typically subscribe to stuff like this. It doesn't. He's not who I would consider to be my peer. He's not in my circles. So, all right. Well, what do y'all think about that? I think he's trying to get a reaction through shock. I think that's his MO, is to throw shocking spaghetti up against the wall and see what sticks and see what attention he gets for it. And I don't know. Obviously, he's done a bunch of this, so maybe he's getting the attention he wants. As far as veterans reacting, Alaskan veteran, my opinions are it seems to be mostly problems of the lower 48, and I think y'all should keep your problems down there. I don't run into those problems in my everyday life in Alaska, and a lot of the trivial things that he's really hung up on would not be things you'd be hung up on here if you were busy trying to get through your everyday life and pay your bills and put meat in the freezer and raise children to be productive members, able to survive in the coming world. So, as far as those who are followers of our channel, the prepper community, the Alaskan, the people who run in the circles that we do as veterans and whatever. One, I think musically, we're not talking about the world's greatest. Sorry if my sound's cutting out. Let me move this microphone here real quick. Hope that wasn't too awful. It musically, it's not bad. It's better than I've produced. There's not a lot of musical talent and ability to comment on, right? So, well, Kirk, thanks for the suggestion. I won't be buying any of Tom MacDonald's albums. I hope he is doing well in the reaction that he was trying to get. It says on YouTube, he's number 15 for trending right now in music, so he's certainly getting attention. 15 trending. I'm never going to trend at those rates. So I guess he's making some money doing this. Everybody's got to make a living. I don't have any judgment for how he's making his. I don't know that he's really going to open any eyes of people who he's talking about. Those who are divided and not understanding what's happening in our country or our world are probably not going to watch his video. And so even if they did, he hasn't presented anything that is going to persuade them, right? So how helpful is this? I don't know. It's a good question. The fact that it's trending means there's people that agree with him, because it's not that shocking of a video. I don't know. Not sure about all that. But let's see. We've been live here for 45 minutes, and we're not getting much in the way of the chat, at least on the Twitch feed. This isn't exactly the Twitch content that is super popular, but we'll keep making them. So I tell you what, if you've got something that you'd like us to react to, go ahead and send it. As you can see, we'll watch just about anything. Do try to give me a warning if I'm going to need to blur something or bleep something. I'd like to have that heads up. This was fine. I don't No, I didn't pick up any foul language. Somebody let me know if maybe there was. I didn't pick up on it if there was, and he certainly didn't show anything that was shocking. So don't think I'll have to restrict this content, which is nice. I'm sure it'll be demonetized on YouTube, but that's just what YouTube does, right? So that's okay. We're not there to get money from YouTube. That's not why we're there. Anyway, if you like this and you want to see other ones, we should be able to have links, or wherever you're watching this, there'll be a next video you can pop over and see. We try to put out 1 or 3 of these reaction videos a week, and we also film some gaming content, which is just fun, and that's pretty much only on the weekends if I get a weekend off and have time to do it. But right now we're playing through the game of Rust, and that's been semi-entertaining for some people. And thinking about doing a flight sim game next. We'll see. Other than that, we've got some other content that's in the works and needing to be edited. We're never done with video editing. I need to hire somebody to do it, honestly. So if you want to edit some video for us, shoot me a message, let me know. But as for the Twitch channel, which this is streaming at, excuse me, try not to cough into the microphone. If you're on the Twitch channel and you'd like to see a different game being streamed, let us know which one we should play next. I prefer to do games that are somewhat related to the content of the channel, outdoor and theme, or be interesting to see more survival, maybe some hunting. Would somebody be interested in watching like an Alaskan hunting? We could talk about how unrealistic and stupid it is, probably. The reality of hunting in Alaska is that you're wet, cold, miserable, and bored. And then there's a little bit of excitement sometimes if you're lucky, right? Anyway, I don't know if we're going to get out in the woods this year to film any of that, but it'd be fun if we do. So again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching wherever you're finding this, whether it be on our own website, the Purell Outdoor Alaska website. You can find us at the overlay. There's a link on the screen right now, and prloutdoorak.com. We have free content and we have restricted content. The restriction is basically all the fun stuff, shooting guns, gunsmithing, hunting, fishing, stuff in the woods. Maybe we've got some Polaris Ranger, ATV, UTV build videos. What else do we do? We make holsters. That's mostly what we do. We cut stuff out of leather and melt kydex and mix the two together and wrap them around guns and knives. And I was just gifted a knife. I think on the next show, I'll bring it out. I was gifted a knife from a good friend, and we're going to need to make a custom sheath for it. So maybe we'll try to film that. But that's enough for this live stream. Thanks for tuning in. Purell Outdoor Alaska, Filtered Thoughts, and we look forward to seeing you on the next show.